Bit. What up, Biddy? Oh, and Christy here too.
Tim broke it.
Yeah, I broke it. I don't know how I broke it, but it definitely had to be me. Had to be. Don't nobody else use this computer. Don't nobody else use this fucking computer, man. Whatever the case is, I went to update something, and it updated, and then everything just went to hell. So I ain't had time to dig in and really figure it out. It was minutes before the show, so I was like, "Fuck it." But y'all ain't missing nothing anyway. But y'all just only thing y'all not seeing is my curmudgeon-y ass face. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so y'all ain't missing shit.
I mean, if you say so.
Oh, I do, nigga. I do. Let's see. It's 11. I'm gonna do this intro real quick because it's still early. You, and they.
Oh.
It's the fifth. Like,
okay.
STEM.
I'm not going.
Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ. And I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective.
Facts. What up, Sean P?
What's up, Sean P? Facts indeed.
No. Chrissy says so. You really did break it.
I see that shit. I see that shit.
She really did break it.
I really did break it. Yeah, like, listen, you know me. If I ain't break it, then I'm gonna push back a little bit. I broke it.
Shit.
I'm the only one that used this computer. I'm the one that decided right before the show, hey, that's an update. Let me do this update. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's all on me. All on me.
It was you.
It was me. It's important for everybody to to realize that this show is from a black perspective. That does not mean we do not know and acknowledge other perspectives, because to be frank with you, being a black person living in the United States, you are forced to.
Yeah, you kind of got to.
You're forced to at least hear other people's perspectives. That's why I find it hilarious when people say things like, "Did you guys ever take time to listen to?" Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on now. There was a time in this country when my folks couldn't read. Who taught us how to read? Yeah. Right? Like, yo, there's never been a time we didn't understand or hear the perspective of other folks. But when you're a part of a marginalized group and you were cut out of access for a long period of time, the rest of the world didn't get a chance to hear your viewpoint because it was being muffled, it was being suppressed, it was being interpreted for you through the lens of people who don't understand you, and a lot of them don't like you. So it's going to come off a little. If you, for instance, if I get the skinny on you from somebody who absolutely detests you, how you think that's going to turn out?
Right.
How you think they're going to paint you to me?
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of people that come from overseas and all that get over here. They heard about us through other people, or through other venues and platforms, and they already have their opinions in their head when they get over here. When I worked for the gun place, there was a Polish guy named Andy. And when I tell you Andy was terrified of black people, that's really an understatement. And there was some little thing going on where people were out there protesting, and Jesse Jackson was happened to be part of that. And unfortunately, on Andy's way home, he had to go through that, right? And he was so nervous and so terrified to do all of that shit. So over the years, I worked there for a few years, off and on, right? Left, came back, all that other shit. Somebody told me my man Chezzy, who happened to be half Mexican. Chezzy tells me, you were good for Andy. I said, why you say that? He said, because Andy had really had no experience with black people before. And he was absolutely terrified. And I think he kind of still is. But his interactions with you basically gave him a window into something that he was afraid of. These are just people. Like, these are just people.
Right.
That's what they are. He was still terrified though. But he could talk to me and he would come talk to me about things that's happening and blah, blah, blah. And surprisingly, I didn't rob him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't choke slam him through the sandblaster or none of that shit. None of that shit happened, It's amazing how that didn't happen for him because he thought that's what it was. I didn't challenge him to a rap battle or some shit, breakdancing and none of that shit. I didn't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, we just people, but we people with a perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And we happen to be black people, born and raised in the United States.
Correct.
Now, to some people, when they hear that, they go, "Oh, that sounds great."
He misunderstood.
You obviously don't know the history, and you have swallowed quite a dose of propaganda, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You need an antidote. That shit's poison. That shit is poison. Be that as it may, we are here. Is that show Hero Academy? My daughter. Yeah, we are here. It is spring, and this is how I know it's spring. This is how I know it's definitely spring now. So this morning, yesterday morning, I looked at, on the bottom of your taskbar, at least on my computer, it's the temperature. It was, I want to say, 5 in the morning. It was 70 degrees. I said, yeah, boy, it's spring. It's 5 in the morning and it's 70 degrees. Yeah, we in there. I said we in there. And then today I looked at it and it's like 59. But it is what it is. A lot of creativity going on this week.
Nigga.
Talk about that when we do our week shit. Right?
I mean, that's now.
Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, we got to do it now because it's abbreviated. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so I kind of started a little bit before I was talking to SBJ, but we didn't have a whole lot of pre-show because I broke it, right? This week has been full of like enlightening things and also disheartening things, right? So there is seems like every day we turn around, there is new tech. And why that's important to me is because they happen to be, fairly recently servicing my use cases, right? In a way that I've been wanting to see for a minute. Good minute, right? And now we're starting to get some of that good shit, right? So that has me, my head dived into the creative process and shit. And that is great for me because I'm getting a lot of shit done. And wait till y'all see some of the content that I'm putting together, specifically the comic book content that I'm putting together. And some of you who are already on Patreon, y'all see it's a little bit more activity on Patreon now. Mm-hmm. That's really one of the things I'm trying to get to. There's more regular posting on Patreon because we appreciate the people that are on there. They really help keep the company going for real, right? So I want to give them more stuff, right? And all that's for the good. Unfortunately for me, apparently having ADHD, jumping from one thing to the next thing, one thing to the next thing, one thing to the next thing, is a recipe for having a lot of things half done.
Yep.
It's also a recipe for not
story of my life.
Bruh. It's also a recipe for not getting things done that you probably should, right? Because it is hard to resist the pull of those creative urges when you now have the tools to be able to do the shit. It is difficult. But I have more than that to do around here, right? And to be honest, when I'm caught up in a project, I slack on a lot of other shit that I should be doing because I'm here. And the other thing is, and I know other artists will attest to this shit, that when we have an idea, one of the reasons we feel like we trying to jump on it right there because we don't want to lose it.
Facts.
Because it's nothing worse to us than to have an idea that we think is perfect. This shit here is going to be crazy. And then we put it off, and then we forget the idea, and we're trying to get it back. We feel like we lost gold. We feel like we think to ourselves, that could have been the idea that could have lit all the fire under all my shit. And now I done lost that. How many times have I had dreams about music, the perfect beat, the perfect verse, and it's in my dreams, and that's all I got to hold it when I wake up. And I wake up, that motherfucker evaporates like dew on a dandelion. like that shit just poof, gone. So as a result of that, I'm more liable to jump into the creative thing and then the non-creative thing, but it still needs to be done. And that has been actually my issue for the past 2 weeks, to be honest, maybe a little more, right? So there's a bunch of shit that I got to catch up with around here that I haven't been, and I've got to get on that because there's always something new coming up in here, new boxes, all this shit. And what it does is inventory gets stupid.
Yeah.
Boxes all over the place. And, the cats that we have are, they have an investigative organization known as CSI, Cat Scratch Investigation. So everything that comes in this house, the first thing they do, if they upstairs, is they come downstairs, they fan out, they sniff the thing, they jump on top of it, look at it, and all of them shit. And like in the Law and Order episode, you hear that doom shit going on. That's usually them knocking something the fuck down, though.
Right.
But yeah, I got to get a lot of that shit squared away for real. Also, we've had this issue for a minute, but this week's especially has been particularly frustrating. There's a limited amount of space, particularly like in our room. It's a decent sized room, don't get it wrong, but the issue is we got too much stuff. We do. We got too much stuff. So regardless of how many storage containers, dressers, whatever, there's only a limited amount of space in this room. And even in those storage containers, there's only a limited amount of storage. And when you have more things than you have space, it's going to be cluttered. And that's what the issue is. So let me tell you what I've been doing this week. I've been throwing shit the fuck away. Right? Now, it's all been my shit. I wouldn't presume to throw my wife's shit away without talking to her. And I haven't had that conversation with her yet. But in my attempt to declutter shit, I have found things that I knew I had, but I didn't think about it because it was out of sight, out of mind, and I didn't use it at no point in time. A lot of that is some certain clothes. That shipping, I obviously didn't miss it because it's been gone, at least out of sight. And I didn't say, wait, where's my such and such shirt at? Where's my... And then some of it don't even fit. no more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, B. I grabbed some trash bags. Anything that we've been in this house probably going on close to 8 years now. Anything that I ain't seen in 8 years and didn't worry about. Goodbye. Get the fuck out of here. So what that has done is it did make space, but there's still more totes full of shit. And it almost made me feel like we never really moved in. That's what it felt like. We never really moved in. So this weekend, I'm going to have this conversation with my better half about her perhaps looking through some of her wardrobe for the things that she just absolutely doesn't fuck with. Like, you don't fuck with it. And see what the deal is. You're going to give it away. You're gonna, like something. But it's getting to be too much. It really is. It really is. It's too much. It gotta go. All right. The other thing is to swing back around to it being spring.
Mm-hmm.
That means they back. Who are they? You might ask. Bees, wasps. I go out to the backyard, walk up the driveway, because I went out there to get something. And as I go out there, my front yard. So you know how it is when you're not supposed to have a party and you have one anyway because your parents is out of town and they come home early while you're in the midst of the party. Okay, if it hasn't happened to you personally, you've at least seen teen movies where that shit then took place, right? That's what it looked like on that front lawn. Squirrels, birds, just all over there. And when I get up to the top where the front porch is, they notice me, and the pandemonium that took place was fucking hilarious. And I was like, good for you. Get the hell out of here. And I walk up on the front porch to get the box or whatever that had just came in. And as I pick it up, I happen to look up. Guess what I see when I look up?
A wasp nest.
Yes.
Oh.
That I have not that I have not seen in a minute. I said, oh, you guys are starting early this year. These warm days must have treated you guys nice. Here's the thing, though. I'm with all the smoke.
I mean, hold on. I hear you, my guy. I don't know if you with all. I strongly believe you with most of them.
I'm with the majority of the smoke.
Okay. Because wasps can get a little dangerous, my guy.
And see, this is the thing. That very point you just made there, that wasps can get dangerous, right? It can be very, very dangerous, is why I am quick to act, because I'm not going to let you marinate and cement your position here, and then all of a sudden start putting on airs about who should and should not come on the porch, who should and should not come out of the front door. We're not doing that.
Facts.
Went in the house, got some chemical warfare, and proceeded to take her castle down. And then whatever the remains was of it that was lying on the ground, I sprayed it up. Fuck out of here. Now, I know this is not going to be the end of it, because since they starting early, it leads me to believe they on one this season. That's fine. I know what it's like to be on one. And I know SBJ knows what it's like to be on one, because this past week, he was on one.
I mean, I'm on a brief hiatus.
You know what I'm saying? Same here. But I know I'm gonna have to be on the lookout. So I had to go back to my schedule because I did lapse from it because I wasn't sitting. They wasn't back. But I gotta be on my schedule now where I periodically take walks and investigate the entire house, the circumference of the house, right? To make sure there's nothing there, whatever. Also, I'm trying to keep the mosquitoes down this year too. Mm-hmm. One good way to keep mosquitoes around your house, this is a pro tip, folks. Don't let there be any standing water around your crib.
Yeah.
Boy, and then you're gonna sit out there on your porch or in your backyard to be scratching this. Yo, why are these motherfuckers fucking with me? Because you probably had some standing water out there, specifically around this time of year. Some standing water out there. Them motherfuckers had babies. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And now them babies is coming to fruition. And they dealing with your ass, right? Also, as far as the whole spider situation, they seem intact, right? So I'm gonna let them do what they do. I'm not fucking with them. They got the little webs out there. Handle yours. Handle yours. Whatever slipped by me, you take care of. And I promise to leave your web the fuck alone. I promise. But there is a caveat to that. All it takes is one time for me to walk my normal route and get a face full of web. And I'm going to have to put you on the list. Like, you can't do that. There's plenty of places where there's a free traffic of bugs just flying through. Put your web there, and we don't walk that way. But if you put one of them dumbass web, it is the worst feeling ever. Because the first thought is, shit, it's a web. The second thought is, where's the spider? You know what I'm saying? Where's the spider? Did it get in your coat? Is in your hair? Well, I don't have hair. But still, that's what you start thinking. Like, where the fuck is the spider at? So, as long as they keep that shit over there, I'm Gucci. But yeah, my week has been about frustration. And also, there is a day. Today is supposed to be a day where there's motherfuckers doing shit. Mm-hmm. Right? Y'all supposed to be out there. I'm gonna salute you. Handle your business. Let's get them numbers up. They say 1 million people plus. I really believe it should be more than 1 million, considering. But what do I know? All there, do your thing. Don't burn down shit. Handle your business. We're with you in spirit.
Yeah. Concepts of spirit. I mean,
we have concepts. We have concepts of spirit.
Concepts of spirit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Thoughts and tariffs. So, yeah, like we with you. We just not with you.
Yeah.
We with you. Mm-hmm. We wish you success.
We believe in what you're doing.
Yes, definitely.
But I won't get there with you.
I'm moving the camera. I didn't see what's over the horizon. Yo. And I promise you niggas got nothing to celebrate.
Yo, Mike said thoughts and webcam tariffs. Yo.
Listen.
Oh, wow.
But we with you, though. Like I said, salute to y'all. Black Culture Geeks saluting to y'all. Go out there, handle your business. We watching. We watching. And we might have comments next week. You know, look at the game tapes.
Yeah.
See what y'all did wrong. See what we think y'all did right. I like what y'all doing with Tesla. Appreciate that. That's the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell that. You know what I mean? Hell that. You know what I'm saying? Hell that. You know what I mean? But it's bigger than Tesla.
Oh, absolutely.
I heard somebody say on one of these it's one of these political YouTube channels. They said it's fuck this shit's probably gonna be because they finna try to tear everything down to the studs and shit. That's what these motherfuckers trying to do. So one of the good things about it is they're gonna piss off so many people even a lot of them that has been making excuses. Because when it starts hitting them, we've already seen them twist and pivot. The thing with that is there is a real opportunity for a real political party to rise and make some serious changes with how we do shit here. The opportunity is there. Again, I won't get there with you because my earliest convenience, I'm getting the fuck out of this place. All right. But I'm just saying there is an opportunity there. With destruction, there is also a chance of reconstruction, right? And we don't mean the way America did reconstruction. Fuck that. I'm just saying there are systems that have been in place decades or centuries that need to be dismantled. They have proven not to work. So in the rebuild, it is time to assess a lot of that shit. Also, because of the development of AI, y'all know what I'm about to say. A lot of professions aren't going to be professioning. This has to be addressed in any rebuild. In any rebuild, what are you going to do about all those people that are going to not have a profession? That needs to be restructured. The safety nets need to be restructured. The parachutes need to be restructured completely. Because if you don't, the future you're going to see is not going to be to your liking. We've all seen those dystopian ass sci-fi flicks where they got this great technology, but somehow it just wasn't helping the people. The people were still living like shit. The only ones that weren't was the ones with the money and the resources that already were grandfathered in centuries before they got to this point. And that's what I fear will happen. That with the event of the inventions of all this technology, that the way it's moving is moving fast. Like I said, I keep up in that space. It's moving fast. I fear that those who were grandfathered into their positions will stay there, and it'll be impossible to remove them because the technology that now should help everybody is putting an effective firewall to protect them from any changes that would inconvenience them and help us. That's my biggest fear, and I know that's the shit that a lot of these motherfuckers want to do. One of the complaints that I heard from people numerous times, no matter what fan base this is, man, they always come up with that retread bullshit. Man, we've seen this. How many times y'all gonna redo the? You know why they do that shit? Because they can. They can. They have money. They have resources. They are in place, right? In entertainment, in place. You know how they're gonna continue to be that way? They're gonna continue to be that way because anybody that could challenge them with creativity, like SBJ, Tombstone, Graydon, Adequate, anybody that could challenge that shit doesn't have the resources or the reach to actually make a real go at it. So when new tech comes along to help us do that shit, you can't have it both ways. You can't demonize people for using the tech, but then complain about the motherfuckers that's same 5 or 7 companies that's always that you can't have it both ways.
A point that I don't know if I've ever verbally expressed, well, at least publicly,
right,
is I don't want to hear about this from anybody who's a fan of golden era hip hop. Because there's the abstract that applies to all creatives, where literally the idea of the best faith actors on the AI side
right
is nothing different than a human being who sees a piece of art, looks at it. Okay, I like that. Let me take some elements from that and implement it into. All right, but on the more specific side, for you Golden Age hip hop fans, we were way more specific than that.
Yes.
We didn't have instruments available to it.
Facts.
So we literally lifted parts of music that was made before us.
Yes.
And manipulated it and rearranged it and
using technology.
Added another piece this here and another piece of that there to create what we considered our own art form. And if you consider that art, man, I don't gotta say it.
You don't have to say the shit out. but that shit is real, bro. That shit is real. Like a lot of the people, and I've said this before too. A lot of people that I see now with all this, they in defense mode for what they say. I defend the artists. I defend the artists. Do you? Do you? Because I remember my shit was on Pirate Bay, and niggas was downloading it. I remember a lot of musician shit was there, and people was taking it.
But adding to the element I just introduced, y'all support people that sampled before the lawsuits came.
They did, y'all. They did.
I mean, y'all still support people that sample, but I'm saying specifically before the lawsuits came.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Retroactively, that was considered stealing.
No, they did. No, as a matter of fact, yes, because if you recall, the lawsuits that took place were specifically about copyright shit, which is the same argument we're having now. And also, it's funny because all of us that are artists first got on the internet, the first thing we thought of was, I can use this to promote my shit. So what did we do? We joined social media sites. We joined other platforms that many of those were specific to help us promote our shit, right? And we got on there. They were free to join. Now I got to ask everybody, how do you think they were funding that shit? You think it was just ads? No, it was your data too. And you gave it up freely because you got to be on this site with the hopes of an opportunity of motherfuckers seeing what you do, liking it, and then blowing your shit up. That was the hopes for many of us artists. And if you say that's not the case, you're one of two things. You're that rare breed of artist that was only doing it just for the art of it, or you're lying. It's one of two things. But whatever the case is, you signed the terms of service and you uploaded your shit. You didn't read the terms of service, which I get too, because they was long as a motherfucker. The print is small and it's a bunch of legalese in that shit.
Yeah, we
tend not to, because that's also part of their hustle too, to make that shit as complicated as possible for you to read it and understand the shit, but to also have it, you sign away off on it so that they can now cover their asses, right? That's how that works. But they're not the only people that do that. Everybody in business kind of does that same shit and been doing it for the longest time. So I don't know why anybody thought this was going to be any different than that. So with that, most of the data that they took from you, that they used, that you gave them, that they used, didn't really help you with much. It didn't. It didn't really do much for you. At most, it catered your algorithm to things you like.
Yo. Both let's say AI reads all my terms and conditions now.
Facts, bro. That's a fact. I do the same shit. But yeah, like at most, right? At most, it catered your algorithm to the things you like, making it easier to find the things you like. So certain ads, all of a sudden, you just posted something about something. Now you're seeing ads for this shit.
What up, Cindy?
What up, Cindy? At most, that's what happened, right? But you ain't really getting nothing for it other than access to the platform and access to an opportunity for people to hear your shit without you having to, I don't know, spend a bunch of money to travel, because that's what we used to do back in the day. You was a musician back in the day, and you came from a town that did not have any connections in the music industry, nigga, you better get your ass up on that Greyhound, go up New York, or if you're closer to LA, go to LA. You better go someplace, because the A&R aren't coming down here. This is pre-internet shit, right? So you got a chance, for the opportunity at least, for a wide array of people globally to see your shit. And if they like it, if you manage to figure out a proper way to market it online, you can get some money. You can get some notoriety. I know this personally because this is what happened to me personally. Mm-hmm. But other than that, and that's a big thing, but other than that, I ain't get nothing for it. And then lo and behold, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago or so, ChatGPT. Damn, there's some shit out here that blah, 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 this, that, and that. That's interesting. And we saw from 2.5 years ago till now an explosion in tools. Just tools. They're not perfect either, so stop thinking they are perfect. They are not perfect. There's a lot of guidance you're going to have to do to use these shits, but they still are convenient, and they speed up your productivity if using correctly. We got that out of it, and it's cheap. Pay a little bit in comparison to how much money I pay for my music equipment. In comparison, like, yo, it's relatively cheap every month for me to be able to use this shit. It speeds my shit up, helps me organize my stuff better, which in turn helps my artistic inspiration, because now it's not as big of an obstacle. Like, because sometimes it's the process of even being able to do the shit that's the obstacle to get to the art part. Mm-hmm. And when you are a small business and you've made your art your business, speed counts. Speed counts. Productivity counts. So this is the one thing we actually got from them, tricking us out our data.
Facts.
This is the one thing we got. And just like electricity, just like every other innovative shit that came along, I'm not going to let you motherfuckers, you Luddites, make me feel bad for using tools that's readily available, especially when I know in about 10 years or so, it's going to be ubiquitous. And everywhere you turn, it's going to be something. They use AI for that. They use AI to do this. And then then you're going to look goofy as shit pointing your finger at somebody going, you can't believe you using AI. That's like, I can't believe you're using light bulbs. Yeah. That's going to be like that. Some of these takes ain't going to age well, what I'm telling you. I'm saying on X and a lot of it, they're not going to age well. They not. They're really not. I would love to have been back. I don't know how many years. I would have loved to have been back before cars were just a thing. And everybody was riding horses, buggies, and all that other shit. And motherfuckers first get their hands on the car. I'd love to hear what the conversations was with the people that were anti-car. Man, get that shit out of here. The fuck are they doing over there? I never get in one of them things. They're like a damn coffin with wheels. Not climbing in that. How do you make it? That makes no sense. There ain't no horse to it. What? And now look at your monkey asses. You done got so many goddamn cars, you done fuck the air up. Just saying. Just saying. So yeah, I'm gonna go about my business, handling my business, using the tools of the trade, the new tools of the trade. You know, like back in the day, there used to be drums, guitars, pianos, those sort of things. Well, we added some more tools to that. Computer. Now a computer can be an instrument. Right. Who knew? Yeah, that's my week. That's my week. One other thing. One other thing. Mm-hmm. This morning, trying to set up. I tried to do a new update, and I broke it. Something happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you broke it. You definitely broke it. Yeah, I don't have anything. No, because it's very similar to what you were saying. Like, this week has been very creativity focus.
Yes.
For me. So
that speaking of that though, so y'all know SBJ, he's been creating a comic book universe too, right? He's been actually building on that for a while. Because I didn't see documents from his universe for at least a better part of 2 years here and there. Hey, check this out. Oh shit, that's crazy. Actually, to be truthful, longer than that.
Yeah,
because when I met him, he was already writing comic book.
That's how I ended up getting acquainted with him, is because there was somebody I was working on the comic book, and there was somebody in the comic group on Facebook that was basically stealing Toom's ideas and trying to pass them off as his ideas and contributions.
That motherfucker's a major Trumper now too, by the way.
I'm not surprised.
He was a friend. He was a friend of one of my nephews. That's how I knew him.
I'm not surprised. But yeah, that funny enough, that's actually how I became acquainted with him, because of comic book writing. So yeah, and it's been a long journey, but these like this past week, like I basically
I hate this nigga. Bro, this nigga, he showed me a document with 2 paragraphs on it, and it was dope. Like the concept on it was dope. He showed me that same document not a couple of hours later. That motherfucker looked like a fucking encyclopedia.
Yo, it had a table of contents and everything. Because adding on to what you were saying about the AI, another part of this that gets left out is how you use it, right?
Thank you.
Please that is very important.
Please speak on
because by my nature, I am a writer.
Yep, same.
So I get like, all right, I'll give you an example. So one of these songs that's gonna be on this collab EP that I was telling y'all about. Let me tell you how I got to. So last week I mentioned one of the songs, the one that Tim was going to be on, and how the chorus just naturally came to me. Like I said, that never happened to me before. Never chorused. Verses, yeah, but never the chorus. The chorus
that used to happen to me all the time. It don't happen as much now though. Now it's verses.
The course has always been something that I had to think about and work on, and like never came naturally until that one.
Right.
Verses more often do come naturally, but usually I'm either listening to some music, which is what sparks it,
right?
Or actually, it's usually that. It's usually some music, whether it be finished music from a popular artist, whether it be an instrumental I'm listening to, whatever the case may be. This was different. So generally the way, well, actually I'll do the general after I tell the specific. So I was in my research mode. I went to ChatGPT. Hey, have you heard of this rapper? Yes, I have. These are some of the songs, blah, 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 blah. Instead of moving forward from there, what did I do? I fact-checked it.
Oh.
I fact-checked it because I've been using this long enough to know that it hallucinates.
Yes, it does.
Now, it does it less than it used to.
Yes, it does. It's true.
But it still does it. It still hallucinates. And in AI terms, hallucinations is just basically flat out making shit up.
And that's also actually part of the architecture, but we're not going to get in the deep. That's part of the architecture. Yes. It's a reason it's able to generate shit.
Yes. And it is not completely a bug, basically.
That's it right there.
Yeah, it's not completely a bug. I think the bugginess lies in the frequency of hallucinations.
Yes,
but it's supposed to hallucinate to a certain degree.
Yes.
So anyway, looked up the rapper. Now I already am familiar with the rapper, of course, because why would I be collabing with somebody I wasn't familiar with? But I was always familiar with. So between what I was familiar with and just doing a little extra preliminary searching, I'm like, all right, cool. This is pretty much spot on for what I need it for, right?
Right.
So one thing I use ChatGPT for, in everything is ideation.
Yes.
That's actually the main thing I use ChatGPT for. Basically, it is a sounding board for me to bounce things off of.
That's and
see how I feel about that particular thing.
Yeah.
There's plenty of times where I'd be like, no, be not.
Yes,
no.
that's no.
Trash that shit. That shit is garbage. There's plenty of times. Because just like everything else, most of this AI is not was not created with Black people in mind.
True.
So there are a lot of things that it's like, this is culturally way off, like wrong, just straight up. Anyway,
nearly offensive.
Yeah, bro.
Nearly offensive.
So at Verified, I went back. I'm like, all right, so give me you're already familiar with my rap profile. Give me a couple topics that we could potentially talk about. So it's giving me topics. And as I'm reading the topics, my thought was, all right, this was not on the screen. It's the ADHD. This was not on the screen. My thought was, oh, I'm from Baltimore. He's from blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, but I'm not. Like, I wouldn't consider myself a Baltimore rapper, though.
No.
And then I'm like, yeah, like if somebody heard that and then asked somebody they know, like they wouldn't know. And I'm like, wait. And that's how the verse starts. And that's how the verse starts. So technically, I used ChatGPT to come up with this verse. However, I didn't use ChatGPT to come up with this verse.
Right.
So, like, it's a lot of that happens.
I think people ignore. I think what the issue has been too is people have a very sci-fi understanding of what AI is, and they don't realize how much it is actually steered by the person using it. Yeah. It's not one of these things. Yes, it can absolutely, if you give it one little thing, it can write you a fucking essay about this one little thing, but it won't be any good unless you are an active participant in steering the thing to do the thing. And if you are a talentless hack, the shit you get from out of that will be trash.
Just straight up.
Right?
So, like, that, once I started writing that verse, that may have been the fastest verse I ever wrote. Like,
and part of that too, I think, is because, like you said, like ChatGPT has memory. So the more times you use it, it collects things about you.
Yeah. So
when you asked it about some topics, it basically drew from things that it learned about you in your interactions, 100%. and calculated that these would be things you would be interested in. Sometimes it gets it right, sometimes it don't, but that's still, it's really not that different than how humans operate with each other. If I've known you before, I have a memory about things you like or don't like, and I can extrapolate with varying degrees of success. What, for instance, in the gift giving process, they would like this. They would like that.
Right.
I'm basing that off of what I've seen you like before and the stuff. You know? So it's basically doing the same thing. That's why even with the hallucinations, you niggas hallucinate.
Facts.
Some of y'all do that,
nigga,
and you ain't even got drugs in you. I talk to you motherfuckers, and y'all be saying shit, and I'm like, listen, you must be hallucinating. Like when the motherfucker is like got a little extra in his voice when he talking to me, like I know this nigga. I know this nigga is hallucinating.
All right, nigga. Goddamn. So yeah, like so a lot of times. So my approach to storytelling is, I believe that stories answer questions.
Yeah.
So what I do, how I use ChatGPT to assist me with the lore building and all that other shit is I tell it the basics of what I'm trying to accomplish, and then I tell it to ask me questions that will help. Matter of fact, let me read one of the prompts that I gave it. This is a group of exiled people that I was developing. Ask me relevant questions to help me flesh them out.
Yeah, it is. Yo, I do the same thing with the world building.
Yeah.
Like I say, first I'll tell you whatever the scenario it is that I'm trying to build. And then I give it a very rough variation of how many main characters is involved in all of this. And then I let it go, right? Ask me questions. I said, I need what needs to be asked in order to flesh this out, to make this feel like a real place.
Right? Absolutely.
And they ask me these questions. Okay, so now time to answer them. All right, so I want it like this. By the time you do that shit, I promise you, you're gonna have something that's exhaustive. You have exhaustive lore because like I told you, when this nigga handed me that document second time, that shit looked like one of mine. Like, pro tip, Notebook LM just did an update. Go any writings you have, you are a fiction writer, right? Any writings you have that you feel has a lot of meat to the lore, put it in that and ask it to make a mind map. You will be amazed. You'll know how much. Like I want to see what happens when SG put the document he gave me in there.
Yeah,
because I had only put 2 of the documents that I had, but both of those documents look like the same type of document that SBJ had, as far as with all the tabs and chapters and all that shit like that. And the mind map that it gave me, holy, the connections and each thing that you tap on gives you custom information about that specific part of your. It is amazing. Motherfuckers gonna tell us not to use that. That shit is amazing. That's just amazing.
Absolutely no way. So, hold up. Let me do this. What's this? Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So, let me read the questions that it came back with. Why were they exiled? Were they exiled as a group or individually over time? Who led the exile? Do they still consider themselves members of the original place or something new entirely? How do their values differ now? Do they follow a new set of pillars or additional code? How do they view? I don't know what that is. See, but that's another thing.
Yeah,
I read the questions, and the ones that don't make sense. Hey, what do you mean by this?
What are you talking about? Right?
Where is this coming from?
And this thing can try to explain this is the difference. And also, know what it does. So both me and SBJ are introverted people. We have a certain amount of energy we can allot to dealing with motherfuckers, right? And as a result, there's a certain amount of time, and then we are exhausted. I gotta go and recharge and do some other shit. What's up, GA? So,
what?
So with this particular thing, it never gets tired. It never gets annoyed of you asking it questions. It never get. It's different. It's different.
So once I get through that, I'll answer all the questions. It'll spit back to me something. I look at that. All right, okay. Do you have any more questions that you could possibly ask me to tighten this up a little bit more? If you ask me more questions,
because then sometimes the questions asked are just stupid.
Like, well, nigga, I showed you the one.
Yeah, I know. That shit was ass.
I'm like, hold up. All right, so that's another good example. Because again, I have no dog in this fight, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all the bad as well as the good.
Exactly.
I don't give a. It's a helpful tool for me.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I ain't making no money.
Exactly,
from these
bro.
motherfuckers. I don't got none of that. So I asked. I put one of my like heavy hitters, their story, into a chat. And I'm like,
the guy that eats stars and shits.
Yeah. I put him into the chat, and matter of fact, I'm just gonna read what I sent it to him. And this is why the AI isn't ready to replace us, and we are still needed.
Oh yeah.
I refreshed all of the files in the District Universe project in ChatGPT. I told it to look through the creation story art so far and give me anything that could potentially be a plot hole or a conflict, and I instructed it to nitpick.
Right.
One of its issues was that my cosmic god level, pantheon level character exerted immense effort trying to split a nebula, yet later he casually crushes a human skull. And they thought that was an issue because they felt like I needed to clarify that cosmological creation requires a different strain than crushing a human being's skull.
Okay, so just so you know, pro tip: no, the fuck you don't. Nobody is confused over the fact that it would exert far more energy for you to split a nebula than it would be to crush someone's skull.
Like, what are we talking about here? I don't understand why you feel that way, but you are wrong.
You are dead ass wrong.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is look, if you listen, if you engage in any of the things that we release, you would understand, given where this technology is, there is absolutely zero chance that we just typed some words into a text box and got that out of it.
Nah, nigga, it's
just not possible. Yeah. It's not how that shit works. Yeah. So after I finish with the questions, I'll see the final thing, and even then, I take that out of ChatGPT and put it into a Google Doc, and then I fine tooth comb,
right,
and change the things that I want to change,
right.
Like, so, is ChatGPT helping with organization and stuff? Absolutely,
yeah.
1,000%.
Organization and ideation, bro.
Organization and ideation. That's what I use it for. Everything else is it plays the role of me as a editor and an assistant.
Yeah.
And that's just.
Well, the issue is because this technology is developing very quickly. It's gone from that to also helping design characters, scenes, visually now, and that's. I'm not gonna say it's new because we've had Midjourney now for a while, and some people have used things like Midjourney and Ideogram for that as well. I just think that this particular new one is better suited for a story narrative, consistent character type shit. Where like I know all y'all watch TV shows and movies and shit. Consistent characters is kind of important.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a little important. And one of the things about it is, and I actually was having this conversation with Graydon this week, was the major difference between what 4Omni is able to do with images and what an Ideogram or Midjourney is. All of those other ones are indeed powered by a LLM. It's how it interacts with the LLM that's different.
Right.
4Omni comes with that natively already in it. That's why they call it the Omni. It's natively a multimodal model. So because of that, you're literally using the world knowledge of the database in natural language to ask it to make edits. And you're not doing what you do with like Midjourney, which a lot of times you do use some natural language, but it has to be in these descriptive phrases and sometimes with dashes and all that other shit. This is just talking to it. Like, like even the version of this for Omni thing that is on Sora is powerful like that too. I thought that one was going to be more like the ideogram Midjourney shit because it's over on this platform. No, because I've used natural language to go, that logo is too big on the person's shirt. Make that smaller. And I typed it just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the next iteration of it, it was right the size that it was supposed to be. I've put in there approximate heights of characters when I have more than one character in a scene. It will make by saying this guy is 6'5", this guy is 6'2", this guy's 5'9", and it will make the adjustments to have the approximate height differences in the guy. That's different than what you see with these other ones. That is the key to why this shit is so fucking responsive to editing with just natural language and shit. And also, it does a lot better job understanding some spatial awareness. It still has issues with it because it leans a certain way because of what it was trained on. Mm-hmm. Classic example, it leans towards characters looking towards a camera because a lot of the data that it was trained on, I would dare say the majority of pictures of people, they looking at the camera, right?
Thanks.
But you can prompt it, talk to it to get it to realize this because it has a bunch of other knowledge in it. Like, for instance, it understands cinematic shit. It understands it. So if you talk to it and say, no, see, we doing cinematic shit. You know how camera angles work. You know how cameras angle work better than I do. I'm a photographer, videographer. Like, you know it. So just lean into that knowledge of how that's supposed to, you know what this scene costs for her to be looking at that man.
Right.
Not looking at the camera, the viewer. Look at the guy. A lot of these other image generators, they can't do that shit as well. They can't. Motherfuckers always looking right. Like, everybody in the picture looking at you. This won't be a scene when they talking to each other. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This one does that way better. I'm gonna tell you something else that does better. Those other ones have a issue with certain forms of violence and conflict. Being able to portray that. This one, it's gonna have a problem with, but a lot of the basic stuff, I was able to pull off. Punches to the face, karate kicks, shit like that. I was able to pull that shit off with some of the creations I done made. Mm-hmm. And that is difficult to do in other image generators. I think that's what it boils down to. This is native. This has always been part of the 4Omni branch. They just didn't give it to us until now, probably because I think this is a pissing contest with Google, because Google just released a 2.5 image generator, and I was all hyped up about that, even though the resolution was very poor, but it was able to do a lot of shit. And then not even 2 weeks after that, OpenAI drops that shit. And I know, at least I'm pretty good at thinking that this is a pissing contest because this is a trend with them. Google drops something, OpenAI drops something. GA said, I just saw a video of someone talking about how AI hasn't been trained on full glasses of wine, so you can't get them to render a full glass of wine spill. I heard something about that too. Bro. So it'd be a half glass spilling out of the bottom and other AI fuckery. I did see something about that, bro. In the video, I heard somebody mention that same thing, that it wasn't trained on full glasses of wine. I'm gonna have to test that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to. It's like, come on. I have to test that. But I'm gonna tell you something else. Some of the character designs that I've seen from SBJ just over the last day or whatever, that shit is crazy. Yeah. Because I have seen the original, like his heavy hitter. I've seen the original. He literally commissioned somebody to draw the original, right? Mm-hmm. And I saw it, and it was dope.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But what he's done now with the character, using these tools, bruh.
Yeah, because when I got that character commissioned, it was a different character than it is now.
Yeah, facts.
And because of all the changes that I've made, that look didn't make sense anymore.
Right.
So I basically gave ChatGPT that image, told them, hey, I had this. I need to change it to fit, number one, what his character is now, and number two, the style Bible.
The style Bible.
And sure enough, it was like, yeah, no, this doesn't fit the style Bible at all. Let me give you
Hey, yo, keep going. I can hear you. Keep going.
It's like, let me give you so saying style Bible. So basically, it's been a while since I've been feeding ChatGPT things from my comic universe. So basically, what I asked it to do is, based on how I write, based on the things that based on how I write, based on the concepts in that universe, based on how the characters and everything interact with each other, I had it create a style Bible, which gives people that may be working on the comic who aren't me an idea of how to stay consistent with the other things that are in the comic. Let me give y'all some examples. So I have points for people who write. I have points for people who draw, character models. I have points for people who will draw actual panels. I have points for letterers.
Pretty smart.
Points for branding and universe consistency. And I have an example instruction of creating a panel. So I'm using it to give to people who aren't me, who might be trying to create something in the universe that fits. So I just threw it back into ChatGPT like, hey, listen, anything that we create from this point forward, make sure you follow this Bible.
Right.
Simple. And it has absolutely cut down the amount of time that I would have to generally go back and forth with it to try to get something that works for me.
It is definitely a smart thing to do. I have several one of these things where if I know I'm going to be consistently using or engaging in this particular form of creativity, especially if it's the comic book stuff, I have ready-made documents here. This is your instructions right here, because I don't want to have to keep. That's the other thing too. Token windows is a thing.
Yeah.
Right. The context windows are a thing. Right. So you are expending tokens trying to go back and forth and explain to this motherfucker how you want it long before you get the result that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Right? So the best thing to do is once you get that, you get the instructions on what you want this thing to do for you. Yo, it's good. Like I've gone so far as to say shit like don't summarize, just generate what the fuck I say.
Right.
That summarization that it does eats away at your context window. You know?
Yeah, no. I don't need you to tell me what I told you to tell you. Like, no. Like, what are you talking about? No, don't tell me what I told you.
Yeah.
Just do what I told you.
Yeah.
And it's another thing I do that I just started doing this week because and it has absolutely given me better result with consistency and with hallucinating. I make sure that I work on a thing per chat.
Yeah, me too.
And when I get that to the point where I'm ready to take it out of ChatGPT and put it in a doc and make my final edits to it, I tell the chat, remove this chat from your memory.
Wow.
That way, And after it does that, I finish the doc, upload the doc back to the project file. That way, every time like if it's something that you changed in the chat, it won't get confused between the two things.
Right.
It will only have the final version, and it will work off of that. So that's what I've been doing that recently, and that has absolutely improved with the amount of hallucinations and how long it takes to get to a point that I actually want to be at.
Right. Like, and again, there are several tricks to the trade. Also, there are a lot of people who are just like really getting into this. I know that because of that new image generator, OpenAI saw an increase about 1 million in a day of people starting accounts and shit like that. Having these tips for people that's just really getting into it could be valuable.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
People trying to figure shit out. Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, because it's, like I said, if for nothing else, see, so the problem is when people, like I said earlier, will give it directions and then just take what it gives them and that's it. Like,
yeah, that's not really the way to use this thing.
Yeah, this is a tool. This is a tool that you were supposed to use to assist you. It is not supposed to do your
work for you.
Like, no.
Yo, it's not supposed to do that. And here's the thing about it. In the next 3 years, this shit's going to be really, really, really good. But it still might not be the type of thing you just let go, right? You have to be a participant in this. This is the reason they're called assistants, because they're there to assist you.
100%. There's no scenario. Like, another thing that I've used it for before is, all right, I'm making a song. This is the concept of the song. Give me a beat structure.
Yeah.
Give me a beat structure that I could potentially use, and it'll give me BPM, key, instruments, even sometimes a chord progressing. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let me work on this. And literally, I'm going back and forth between the chat window and FL. Like, all right, this is what you want me to do.
Okay, so let me ask you about that. Let me ask you about that. Has there been times where you've asked it about certain like chord progressions, and then you went to play them shits, and it was like, nah?
Even in earlier versions of ChatGPT, I have never gotten a chord progression from them that didn't work.
Okay. That's interesting to know, because Omni maybe, but those other models, they can't hear.
Right.
They can't hear. Like Omni can hear. That's the reason why the advanced voice mode, there's no latency.
Yeah.
That's why, because the other ones would turn the audio into text and vice versa to give you a response. And that was the lag time, right? Yeah. The advanced voice modes now, shit, they ain't even the only one that can do that, because Gemini's does the same shit now. But that's what it is. It hears audio. So that's why I was wondering, for the models that can't hear, knowing the chord progressions and how it's supposed to sound, how it would sound good together is crazy. But then too, that's a science. It's all math. All that shit. Well, I mean,
it's music theory.
Yeah.
It's music theory. So it knows what should work. And like, now again, I haven't done it a whole bunch of times.
Right.
But I have never gotten a chord progression that doesn't work.
Right.
So funny enough, so both independently.
Yo, GA is wilding. He said, if I'm at home, I can have a full glass. AI let my render be an alcoholic.
That's hilarious. So funny enough, independently, both Tim and I tested this with this new ChatGPT, and we
did it, kind of. Right?
Kind of. I mean, I feel
like this is a full, especially yours. That's a full glass. Like, the stuff that's coming out would have filled it up. Like, so it's only a little smidgen of the glass, tip of the glass.
Like,
that's the part that's coming out.
I think
that's it.
Like, all right, hold on. Let me show y'all.
Sure, yeah.
Let me show y'all. Let me get here and then do one of these.
Maybe it's just that this shit here is just this shit.
I mean, it's possible. It's absolutely possible.
This thing here, a little different.
Oh no, that's not the right one. That's the chat.
This thing a little different.
I mean, y'all be the judge, but I feel like it's at least pretty close.
Right. Betty said, drink from the bottle and AI will draw ye as an Irishman. Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy.
All right. So
the show.
Oh, all right. So this is the one that Tim generated, right? So drink that in.
Right.
And this is the one that I generated. So I mean, I feel like
yours especially, yo. Like yours especially, yo.
I feel like that's a full glass. Like, I don't know. I could be wrong, but
maybe the other ones can't, and this one can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like that's a full glass. So like, now to be fair, I did have to. So I generated it, without specifying full glass. And that first one didn't give me a full glass.
Nope. The first one gave me a half one. Yo, the first one I did before it spilled, the spill out shit, it gave me half. It definitely gave me half.
So then I said, hey, make sure the glass is full. And then it gave me that second one. Gia said, asked it to make sure it's to the brim. All right, hold on.
All right. Try that.
Okay. Make sure the...
What up, Fabo?
Wine. Fabo. Make sure the wine is touching the brim.
Yeah.
No. Filled.
Yeah, because then a finger might be on your cup. That shit might put a finger on your cup.
Right. So yeah, like like I said before, all this shit is in progress. All this shit is emergent to a degree.
Yeah.
And all this shit is a tool.
And so that's the other thing too. When people talk about certain professions, I think professions will change. I don't know that it will necessarily take people out of the equation. Meaning, if you work for an ad company, right, and where would it took you a certain amount of time to put some shit together for ad stuff, depending on what the ad was, you might needed a model, the shoot. Y'all need to be outside, so it means at a certain point in the day you need to be out there and all that other shit. You don't really need to do that now. That doesn't mean you don't need a person to make these images.
Right.
So what it would go from is it'd be less people, sure.
Yeah.
100% it'd be less people, right? But it will still be a person behind it using the tools. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the boss, unless it's a small company like mine, the boss is not doing it.
Really?
They're gonna hire somebody that knows about this shit and how to get the best results from it and all of that shit. They're gonna hire them to do it. And to show you just an example, I was creating ads the other day for Majestic Comics, for like testing them. My God, man, like the type of professional shit that you would see, that you would have somebody you would need somebody who definitely know how to use Photoshop and has an eye for that shit to put that together.
Yeah, that part. But on top of that, also, it is helpful if you have a source. So you would still be able to have the camera out and about in the original picture.
Right.
But if you feed that into something now, but more so in the future, you can make those specific edits on that thing.
That's a fact. Because I've seen people do the I saw a video called 50 use cases for it. And one of the use cases was just that. They took a picture of this woman, right? And then they put the woman in there, and then they she had a certain outfit on, and they could change the outfit, the color of the outfit. I saw them do it with home decorating. So there's a living room, and they said, well, what if the couches were blue instead of the white that's right here? And it just did that shit.
Right.
Seamless.
Yeah.
And that sort of, you can see how useful that would be for a lot of businesses, right? So, yeah.
All right. So I did it again. And I have a philosophical question.
Well, you should see some of the Lovecraftian nightmares I've rendered with simple.
So I did it again, and I have a philosophical question, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I probably can't shut up. So listen, here's my philosophical question.
Mm-hmm.
If you are pouring wine in this manner, wouldn't the bubbles exist?
Yes, bubbles would exist.
So, if you are pouring wine in this manner, is it possible for it to be silent all the way up to the brim?
Oh, that's an interesting question there.
Like, is that possible?
I don't know.
If you're pouring wine in this manner, like specifically the way that it's being poured in the picture.
In that manner.
I don't know.
I don't drink.
I don't have the
so I don't know.
I don't drink wine or pour wine. So
you've never poured wine?
Not like that. All right. Okay. Change.
Fabulous. And I drink. You will have bubbles. You will have bubbles. We have confirmed. Bubbles confirmed.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, just the full. That's what I just put it in there. Let's see what happens. Just to the brim. Bubbles confirmed. Y'all gonna stop doing is acting like you ain't gonna get bubbles.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like the image that I had before, the line was lower. But in that last image, the line was pretty.
It was pretty up. Yeah, that looked like bubbles. Yeah.
Look, I don't have a dog in the fight. I was just curious of it because yes, it is only trained off of what it's trained off of. However, hold up, yo. Listen. Oh, I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh shit.
I mean, it's still generating, but you can see the part that's relevant.
Oh shit.
Look. Can we get it? Can we say that?
Come on, good? No, that's full.
Can we say that's good?
That's good.
It's getting there,
full, bro.
Yo, GA, come on, yo.
That shit is full. That's full as a motherfucker.
That's a good question, bro.
That is a good question.
I think that's good.
That's good enough.
Yeah, bro.
That's good enough. Because if you put it any fuller than that, it's gonna spill soon as you pick it up.
It's gonna spill. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's good enough. That's good enough.
I don't know.
Just like you look. The thing about it is, whatever limitation. Oh no, hell no! I'm about to show you this. Hold the fuck up. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Look, bruh.
Let me see.
Bruh.
Nah, come on, yo.
Bruh.
Listen. Come on. Come on. Who in that right mind would actually try to put more?
It ain't no bubbles in this either, dog.
It ain't no bubbles there. You know how I go, GA. Who in that right mind would try to pour more wine in this glass?
Yo, listen. I love this shit. I ain't gonna lie, I love this shit because
if you try to pour more wine in this glass, you're either a child or an alcoholic.
Nigga. And you gonna have messy hands and a fucked up table. Yo, that shit amazing. Listen, y'all do remember two
facts. Yo, Fab said you guys sit that from the counter before you handle it. That's facts.
Listen, it's the same with hands.
Yeah.
Remember when these image generators first came out?
Terrible.
The hands were nightmarish. Like that's
it used to be like 7 fingers on a hand.
Oh my! Oh, and then it's twisted like a tree root. Like it was terrible. Now you get it every now and then, but most of the time the hands are straight now, and that's also the other problem with remember the movement at the time. The symbol for the movement against AI was a gnarled hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's not going to age. At the time, you and I both were saying, y'all think that's going to stay like that? Then y'all don't understand how innovation works. I have no idea how innovation works. They're going to keep working at that shit, and it's not going to hurt that issue as much. It's still never going to be perfect.
Right.
But it's going to be close enough where it's like, yeah, why wouldn't I use this to speed up my productivity? Are you bugging? You crazy. Like, of course I'm going to use this. Of course.
100%. Because, like, what are we talking about here? Otherwise.
Hey, yo, Biddy's bugging. She said there's room for a few more drops, I'm sure. I'm not an alcoholic. That's Irish.
Yo. Hilarious.
That's just funny as fuck.
Absolutely. So, like, this is an early. When did I make this?
Sean.
Let's see. View details. In 2022, September of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
This is the type of stuff that I was getting. September of 2022. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was doing.
Yeah.
In September of 2022.
Much more digital looking, like you did it with.
And to be fair, to be clear, this was supposed to be a lifelike. Like that was how I prompted it. That's how I prompted it.
Yeah.
That's how I prompted it. That's not what that is.
Right. That looks like Unreal Engine made that shit.
Nigga. What?
Yeah. But I am curious about one thing though. Were we able to do the glass fill to the rim because it's 4.0? It's 4 Omni, which, like I said, the architecture for that is different than those other image generators.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't do that.
Yeah, it's possible.
This just came out a couple of days ago. So
100%. Like, I'm sure that is it. Oh, yeah. Let me see. All right. If I had to bet, I would absolutely say yes. That's why we could actually get it so close. But again, also, like I was saying, yes, it can only at one point it can only produce what it's trained on.
Facts.
At this point, that's not really the case anymore.
That's not the case anymore. That's true. Because now they have the ones that have reasoning, and it can literally go through. And now, to be clear, full transparency. When you use the reasoning models and it shows you what it's thinking, you got to take that with a grain of salt because that's the public face of it. There is another layer underneath that's making the decision to show you what it's showing you. And it might be 100% that because you really got to judge it by the results you get, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. You know what? GA was right, yo. GA was right. I just put that same fucking prompt in Ideogram. It gave me half glasses, all half glasses.
That's funny.
And it generates 4 of them at a time, yo. It
and
gave
all
me
4
half full. GA's not wrong.
That's
not
funny.
wrong. What the difference is this model.
Yeah.
It's this model.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm gonna try it on Flux now. Holy shit. GA is not wrong. That's what's happening.
That's hilarious, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Where are we at? Version. Again. All right, so this is interesting. Oh, same with Midjourney.
Midjourney can't do it even. Yeah, yo, this
all
is what
of them are half full.
It's this model, yo.
Yep.
This is the GOAT model right now.
Yeah. Never thought I'd say that.
Never, ever, 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 ever.
Give me a picture of a wine glass filled with. I didn't say that, but whatever. Filled to the brim. And one of them is like 3/4.
Okay.
One of them's like 3/4, but it's not full.
No.
It's not even close to being full. Like, yeah. So.
That's insane, bro. Same thing with Flux, yo. Half. She took half my shit,
bro.
Like, yo,
that's
damn it,
crazy.
All right, let me check.
Jason has been vindicated.
Yo,
no facts. All facts.
He's right, yo. He's right.
No, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you only train on half? Yeah, like what?
It's a good question. Why did they only do that? All right, Google, you better redeem yourself. I'm about to use Google image effects.
Now,
which gives 4 pictures, by the way.
Yeah. Another issue that I've had with this 4Omni image generation is oftentimes it will tell me that it violates the content.
Yes,
policy.
and it don't.
Oftentimes.
Yeah.
So what I've taken to doing, and most of the time this works, not always, I say, okay, why does it violate it?
I do that too.
Here's the response I just got. Great question. Well, I can't go into the exact details of which policies involved. I can say that some requests involving the generation or modification of images of realistic people, especially when the image can be interpreted as portraying a specific individual or sensitive context, may fall under our content guidelines designed to protect privacy, realism, boundaries, or potential misuse. That said, I'd love to help you create something similar in spirit. For example, if you like an original realistic. All right, so
here's the thing, right? I got that too.
And generally, when they do it, I just say, go ahead, do it.
Yeah, like, first of all, they won't tell you a lot of the times what the word was, what the trigger was. They won't tell you, right? So what I've done is I created a document specifically because I'm in the comic book space. So I created a document where it will describe, for instance, one of the biggest issues I ran into when I first started is getting them to make these pictures of these aliens with fucking spears preparing for war. It kept giving me that same bullshit. So instead of calling it a spear or calling it a warhammer, I broke it down to what it was. So all right, it's a piece of sharp metal on a stick, and then it ran with it. And then that's the reason I had messaged ChatGPT. I mean, I'm OpenAI about that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and they hit. I don't even think I talked about it on here. So I was having issues with that. So I hit them with a letter, a company letter. Let's see if I can find that shit.
So while you're looking for that, so it didn't. Okay, it broke it. Never mind.
What happened?
Tune broke everything.
I broke everything today.
Tune broke everything.
There we go. So I hit him with, I am the editor-in-chief at Majestic Comics. We have been using your product since its inception. Our concept began about a decade ago, but we made things official around 2 years ago. The chat model has been incredibly beneficial to us, and when you released your new image generation feature, We were excited for many reasons. However, comic books are not particularly profitable. The ROI is disappointing due to high production costs. This new image generation feature seemed like a way to help reduce those costs, and it is quite impressive. Unfortunately, we've encountered issues with censorship and extreme content restrictions. This makes it impossible to create stories that involve conflict, which is essential in comic books. Conflicts cannot simply be resolved by offering the antagonist flowers or hitting them with pillows. There is a certain level of comic book violence that is necessary to tell compelling stories, establish real stakes, and provide readers with satisfying outcomes. I have attempted on multiple occasions to use this feature, and each time I reach the climax of a particular picture, I am met with censorship, preventing me from completing anything. This does not help my goal of reducing production costs while maintaining high quality. I believe this will also hinder other fiction writers who wish to use your product. I urge you to address these restrictions and adjust the settings accordingly. The pace of AI development is rapid, and I don't need to remind you of that. Eventually, another company may develop a product that better suits my needs without all the content restrictions. I assure you that many creators in my field who want to embrace AI rather than reject it out of fear will stop using ChatGPT. They, along with myself, will seek alternatives that allow us to utilize technology to its fullest potential for our specific needs. Alternatively, your company could take the lead in this area and become the go-to platform for creative individuals like me. Thank you. Landon Taylor, Chief Editor, Majestic Comics. I didn't expect to get a response.
Right.
But I did. Kay from OpenAI. Hello, Landon. Thank you for reaching out to OpenAI support. We hope this message finds you well. We sincerely appreciate you sharing your experience, and thank you for being with us from the beginning. It's incredibly meaningful to hear how our tools have supported Majestic Comics and bringing creative visions to life, especially in an industry that demands so much innovation and passion. We understand how important it is for storytelling, particularly in comics, to include real stakes, dramatic conflict, and action. These are essential ingredients for compelling narratives, and we recognize that overly strict content limitations can hinder that creative flow. Your feedback about the impact of these restrictions on your storytelling process is both valid and valuable, and we are grateful you took the time to express it so thoughtfully. And when I read this part, I was like, motherfucker, because it sounds snark, right? I said, our goal has always been to support creators like you. And we are actively working on finding a balance, allowing creative expression while maintaining responsible use of the technology. Content filters are designed to ensure safety and policy compliance, but we agree that there's a growing need for more nuanced and content-aware systems, especially for creative professionals working in genres like yours. Conversations like this help guide our ongoing improvements, and we want to be part of your creative journey, not a barrier to it. In the meantime, if there are specific prompts or types of scenes that are being repeatedly blocked, feel free to share examples. This can help us better understand where the limits are becoming creatively restrictive and ensure your use case is properly represented in our internal discussions. Thank you again for your commitment to creativity and for trusting ChatGPT as part of your process. So I don't know if they expected me to reply back. Oh, GA, this is 100% AI response. Like I can tell by the way it's written. But I don't blame them for using it because I wouldn't have sat there and wanted to write all that shit either, right? Right? I don't blame them. Plus, I used ChatGPT to write the letter to them. So, yeah, listen, I know how this works. So I don't know if they expected a response from me, but they got one, and I gave them all of the prompt types that I was using. So they responded again. Thank you for your thoughtful follow-up. We hope this message finds you well. We sincerely appreciate you taking the time to share these detailed examples. They're incredibly helpful and provide exactly the kind of clarity our team needs as we continue refining the experience. The insight into how seemingly simple elements, such as the character holding a spear or conveying intensity, play a critical role in establishing narrative tension is invaluable, especially in a storytelling medium like comics, where visual framing carries so much weight. We've shared your feedback with our internal teams to help inform ongoing improvements to our content filters and the broader goal of building more nuanced, content-aware systems. Finding the right balance between enabling creative freedom and maintaining a responsible use is something we're deeply committed to. and voices like yours are essential to that process. We're truly grateful for Majestic Comics' continued support and belief in the potential of AI to enhance creative work. Please don't hesitate to reach out anytime you have further input or ideas. We're always here to listen and collaborate. Here's the thing. If you are a writer, you know when AI wrote some shit. It's certain flourishes, it's certain things that it uses in there, you can tell. But it doesn't matter because somebody took the time to craft a response.
Sure.
And to cater it to what my complaint was.
Sure.
So I didn't expect that either. I didn't. Exactly, GA. That AI word salad is potent. Yo, that's exactly, GA, when I first saw that, read some of that shit, that's what it read like. Company reply, get wrecked, nerd.
Thanks.
Fuck that shit. That shit, I was mad. And the only reason why I ain't cuss him out, because I ain't want us to lose our account. Fuck that. Damn that.
Yeah, 100%.
Damn the government. What we're doing is more important than money.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yo, that's the second Boondocks quote in the show. I might have to watch that shit.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
One more before and after, because I have this image that I made in August of 2022.
Okay.
And I just threw it in ChatGPT and said, hey, recreate this.
The best shit ever.
So this is the first one. You see the issues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jeez, the skin color is off. The water is off.
the warpage of the face. And
my goodness,
and the
bro.
Head and the.
See, I haven't tried what you did right here. I'm going to try that, bro.
And then this is the recreation.
Oh, wow.
Much better.
Wow.
She is that old pole neck looking head. And this is the recreation. So, like, this shit has come a long way.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the style, it's still the same style. It's stylized portrait type art style.
Mm-hmm.
But this actually looks like a human being, first of all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the shit has come a long way. It's going to keep going.
What up, Reaper?
What up?
I mean, look, it's only going to improve. Now trust me, there are still some bottlenecks with this technology.
Yeah.
One, it uses a lot of compute.
Yes.
And like the first day they dropped this, they were burning out their chips because Sam Altman went on Twitter, said, we love that everybody's using it and like it and enjoy it. Of course you do. That shit puts a bigger spotlight on your company. He said, but you are burning out chips. Well, they are overheating.
Here's the thing, though. I don't know how true that was.
Oh,
shit. I say that, there's two reasons I say it, right?
Okay.
So you remember the whole DeepSeek thing?
I do.
So basically, for those who aren't aware, sometime like right after inauguration or right before inauguration, there was a Chinese owned version of an LLM that came out called DeepSeek.
Yep.
And the benefit of DeepSeek over ChatGPT was compute. It did not use anywhere near as much.
No, it didn't.
Computational power as ChatGPT did, and it's equal to a degree.
Yeah, because I've used it, and yeah.
So I would not be surprised if they have found some way to get better with their compute. Because when he said that,
they learned from DeepSeek.
And it was open source.
Yeah, they released all the weights.
So when he said that the only way that makes sense for him to be telling the truth is if he would have said that and then like more time would have passed. But no, he said that, and then like a day or so later, made it available for all users.
That's true.
There's no way.
There's no way the chips is wearing the fuck out. And look, he made it available for all users, but they put a rate limit on free users, right? They say, oh, well, only 3 a day. You can only do 3 a day. But the point is, when it first started, exactly. And that's the thing. When we first started using the shit, I would get rate limited every now and then. 11 minutes, 15 minutes. One time, the longest it's ever been after that was an hour or something like that, right? I don't get that no more.
The longest I ever got was 1 minute.
For real? Shit.
Yeah.
I must have been going ham.
It was like, hey, we couldn't create the image because there's a temporary weight limit. Please try again in about 1 minute.
I've never gotten a minute, bro. The lowest I've ever gotten was like 5 minutes. Everything after that was 10, and then one time it was an hour.
And only time I've gotten these is when I have multiple tabs open, making multiple images at the same time.
Wow.
And then I got like, okay, hey, chill out. Wait 1 minute before you make the next one so we can catch up.
You greedy bastard.
Hey, listen, it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. I got ADHD. I mean,
that's true.
It wasn't my intent. I have no problem waiting. It's just, this I did. Oh, okay. Wait, let me do this.
That's the bane of my existence.
It was just that. So it was like, But one thing, update from last week that Chrissy reminded me of, but then we went down a rabbit hole. So I'm famous at a company. No.
I make you a couple of years ago, me and Addie started a campaign. Hashtag make James famous and shit. And it didn't work until now. Ain't that some shit?
So they have this this group meeting with the therapist and whatnot. And Tracy was in the meeting. And she had to go for some reason. And as she's leaving the meeting, she sees people like, hey, did you see this Facebook post? Oh, such this. Who's James Davis? Blah, blah, this. Blah, blah. Oh, wait, that's Kristen's fiance. That's Kristen Lewis's fiance. Where's Kristen Lewis? You
Big Mac.
Nigga. So there's that.
Well, Chrissy in the meeting going,
he
don't play about me.
I mean, listen. I was burdened with a task.
Hold up. You was burdened with glorious purpose? Damn, Loki.
And I started the task, and there's been a lull because we want to wait until she's fully gone before we go completely in. So anybody that's listening,
post, right? Some of you have seen my post. That's what this is about.
Yeah. So if anybody that's listening was participating or whatever the case may be, we're not done.
We're not done.
We just getting started. We just want to wait until she's fully, completely gone.
Because here's the thing, y'all. This is the thing y'all gonna have to get used to. Some of you already know because we do that for y'all.
Yeah.
But we not playing about 1 hour.
No, that's not.
We not like
that's not
this circle. This circle right here.
Look, anybody who's familiar with my old Facebook, you saw some of the things I was involved with on things that Tim couldn't necessarily say, or at times when Addie was a little overwhelmed in a situation, and things like that. So yeah,
don't do that shit.
That is new to this profile, but hey, I'm still the same. I still have the same core values. Let's put it like that.
It's called family values.
Facts. I can't say I'm the same person because growth and all that other shit. But I still have the same core values.
Look, the reality is, like I said,
facts. Fab said round 2 of the Donnybrook. Absolutely. As soon as the 25th at whatever 6 o'clock or whatever the case would be, 25th at 6 o'clock, I'm hitting the button again.
It's on. Listen, it's on. And shit. What? It's not just going to be on our pages. Watch.
Bro. There is, I might be saying too much, but there is a bunch of shit that we didn't found since.
Yeah, buddy.
Since I started making that initial post.
Yeah, buddy.
It's been an illuminating 7 days. So there's some more shit going on. there's some shit going on.
Listen. All I'm gonna tell y'all is the rabbit hole that's been going down now, and the shit that's we're finding out now. No stones will be left unturned.
I spent money on this.
Yeah,
I spent money.
Yeah,
to get some information.
Yeah.
So,
Here's the thing, right? I will say this again. We not playing that shit over here. You fucked with who? Oh, all right.
Facts. That's simple.
All right. We ain't playing.
A bunch of people have shared that original post that I made. If y'all stumble across it, y'all go ahead and share that too.
Yo, you had a lot of people on that shit too.
Well, that's because of PJ. PJ saw, I think, the post that I made before that.
Yes.
And he hit me. Well, actually, he was about to hit me up, but I hit him up before he hit me up. And he was like, "Hey, come on, Neely. Like, hey, yeah,
that's my guy."
I asked him. I was like, "Hey, could you possibly look into this shit and see if it was something that you would be willing to share?" And he was like, "I was just about to hit you up and ask if I could share it on my page."
That's
and I'm
PJ.
like, "Absolutely, 1000% you can." And it happened exactly the way you said it. He's like, "Hey, so basically, I made a post recently, so I'm gonna wait a little bit before I make this one." It's thousands of people in that group, but what generally happens is I make the post, and then slowly people trickle in.
Of course.
And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what happened. People sharing, people commenting on it, tagging people, all types of shit. So we that's just the beginning.
We out here.
Yeah, I heard that Gullah Geechee shit. Yeah, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Oh, GA, are you on Facebook?
He not on Facebook no more. He been
God damn it! I'm gonna have to send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you on
Discord, y'all. Send on Discord. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to send it to you on Discord. That's a whole. Oh, you missed that entire episode. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you. I got some shit to send you, my guy.
Yeah, yo, motherfuckers are the worst, yo. I'm telling you, when you said you're gonna see me talking about motherfuckers are the worst, yo. They are the worst.
But that's not an unhappy note. That is a happy note because we about to get into some shit.
Yes, we are.
We about to get into some shit.
Trust
me. That's a happy note. We didn't mention. Well, we mentioned it in passing, but this is a truncated episode today. This is all the time that we got for you guys. We are about to hop off of here, but I'm literally about to get this shit and send it to you right now.
Absolutely. So yeah, don't forget. I heard it through the grapevine. His significant other, my sister Chrissy's podcast. Go check that shit out. Also, there's always music from people here on the show, music from GA, music from Grade, music from Adequate's upcoming. Yeah, Adequate's working on some shit.
Absolutely.
I heard some of it already.
Nigga, and I was like, yo. And he was like, yo. And I was like, yo. And he was like, yo.
Yo, the shit was, So there's music coming from that. I'm working on something new. I'm pretty sure GA's working on some new music. As always, goddamn music. Don't forget Metas and Mutants of my dude Super Side Guy and Hendrick. Check their podcast out as well. If you are a Patreon member, there's some new posts up on Patreon you might want to look at. Some more posts are coming. So expect a deluge of content going that way. So yeah, for my man SPJ,
you
I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out. And 4 Omni is the GOAT image generator. Sorry, it just is what it is.